Welcome to PaddyCast, where I'm joined by former Olympic silver medalist and the current WBO World Featherweight champ, Shakur Stevenson. How are you, Shakur?
Shit, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, you still training away, yeah?
Yeah, I just came back from Vegas. I was down there sparring, and I've been training and working out, so I'm good.
Brilliant. So tell me, I want to know about, obviously, your early days boxing. I want to know how you got started and talk me through your amateur career.
I think that when I was like 5 years old, my grandfather, he took me to one of his like rec league baseball games, and he brought some of his fighters. I was like 5, and he introduced me to them. And when I met them, I just felt like it was cool that they was boxing. So the next day, I told him to take me to the gym, and I went in the gym the next day, and I seen everybody punching the bags. I seen people sparring. I kept asking, like, can I get in the ring and spar? He was like, nah, I don't want you to get hurt. It was like another kid there, and I kept asking him. He let me spar. As I got older to, like, I was like 7, that's when he started, like, letting me spar, and I just fell in love with the sport. So,
Brilliant. So,
I think with the amateurs, I feel like I don't know. I just feel like I came up kind of quick, so I had to like adjust to it at a young age, I guess.
yeah, because, we talk about that. It did come through quite quick because you got gold at the World Youths and
Yeah,
gold at the Youth Olympics as well.
yeah.
After winning those tournaments, did you feel going senior, the elite level as an amateur, you're on the right path for the Olympics in Rio?
Yeah, I definitely knew like I remember the Elite World Championships, and I had just missed it because I was too young by
Yeah.
like a couple months, probably like 2-3 months. I was too young, so I remember watching it, and I kept seeing like some of my old teammates on going to the Worlds, and I was watching everybody, and I'm like, damn, like I just was wishing like I was there to fight everybody. But like I knew like from there it was like, okay, at least I'm old enough to go to the Olympics, so I know what was ahead of me. I watched like all the competition, and I knew like everything that was going on.
Like, when you qualified for the Olympic Games, like, how did it make you feel? Like, was it a great feeling qualifying for Rio?
Yeah, it was a hell of a feeling, honestly. Like it was the qualification event. All I had to do was win a fight with. It was a dude from Venezuela, and I know you know Coach Billy. Like Coach Billy
Yeah.
kept telling, this kid is tough. Like you fighting a tough kid. Like it's not gonna be an easy fight. He kept saying, make Colin fought him, and they had a real good fight. Like this kid is tough. He fought him in the WSB.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, okay. I'm like, I looked at him. I'm watching. I'm like, okay, I know exactly like what I got to do. And he did look like a tough fight. Like,
Yeah.
but I just went straight at him. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just go straight at him and try to break him. Because if I sit on the outside, he want to like wait on the outside and keep me at long range.
Yeah.
So I kind of straight at him, and I had beat him up. And then I'm like I don't know. I was like, really. It was like now it's like you finally become an Olympian.
Yeah.
Like something that you've been looking forward to your whole life. So it definitely good.
Like, you talked there about Coach Billy. He was obviously my Irish coach.
Yeah.
Did he make any adjustments to you as a boxer before Rio?
If I'm being honest, I don't think that he did. I think that he helped like in certain ways, like it was certain ways, but I still feel like with us, like they changed the scoring up. They took off the headgear, which favor like the US a little bit more.
Yeah.
Used to like professional boxing and stuff like that. So I think that he helped in some ways, but I still feel like at the end of the day, it was going to be like what it was going to be with me regardless. Like I can't speak for nobody else, but I know with me, I knew like regardless, I was going like I knew how good I was, and I knew I wasn't going to let nobody outdo me anyway. So whether it was the scoring or whatever, he like a new coach there, I still had my coach there with me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just knew like what I was going to do. So I don't think that it's anything that he did, and I'm not taking nothing away from him because I think he's a good coach.
Yeah.
But I just feel like we already was going to do that anyway, and I feel like I especially was going to do that, and Clarissa was going to do what she did. So I think that it was all already, that was all going to happen.
Like, you had a great Olympics. You only lost in the final to the great Ramsey Ramirez from Cuba, and a very, very good fight as well. How did you find fighting him?
I think that I fought him if I'm being like realistic, I think that he didn't get the best of me that day. I think that I beat myself. Like, I ain't gonna like sit here and like take the credit away from him because I do think he's a real good fighter. Like, I used to look up to him when I was like a kid, and he won like youth Olympic gold and did everything, all the same things that I did. And I looked up to him and I used to think like, man, he's like a hell of a fighter. But I think that I beat myself. Like, I think that training camp, it was a lot going on with like the USA boxing program and me, basically, like specifically me.
Yeah.
And I feel like I wasn't all the way there. Like, I honestly felt like I was 40% in the Olympics, and I'm surprised I even made it to like where I made it to, like off of being 40%. Like, it was a tournament right before that in the qualification event. Like, I felt like I was 100% there. I felt like if they'd have had that me at that tournament, this was good every single day, every day, every day. I even fought the kid that beat me in the Olympics, the Cuban. I fought the kid that beat him, and I beat the hell out of him. Like, so I just feel like I wasn't 100%. I feel like I'm not taking nothing away from him because he's a hell of a fighter, but I just feel like if it was the best of me, I don't feel like it'd even be a close fight. I think he can't beat me.
But do you think as well, like, do you think maybe a factor of you losing was because even though you're very, very talented, it's obvious, do you think it was maybe a lack of experience at senior level? Because
Maybe. Maybe I don't disagree with that. Like, because at the end of the day, like, I didn't have like the senior level and elite level experience. But I still feel like at that time, like, even like my fights, it wasn't even like it wasn't even my fights. It was like my fights prior to the Olympic gold medal fight. I felt like I wasn't feeling like 100%. I was just feeling like, okay, I'm getting by because I'm so talented and so good that I could get by these fights. But I didn't feel like I was performing how I was performing in my Olympic trials and the qualifying event. Like, I couldn't perform that same way because I just didn't feel like I don't know. I didn't take it serious. I kind of was doing a lot of bullshit leading up to Olympics, and I wasn't really serious like I should have.
But you know what? I think it's worth noting that the Olympic Games in Rio was actually your second international tournament as a senior boxer.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is even the bigger achievement, you know what I mean? So it just shows how good you really were. Would you have liked to have fought the current world champion at the time, Mick Conlan, at the Games?
Yeah, that's who I wanted to fight. Actually, that's who I was thinking, like, we was going to end up fighting. And I told you, like, when I was a kid, I was watching the World Championship, and I seen him win. And I'm like, man, I can't wait till I get there so me and him can fight. Yeah, I definitely, and you know, we was all, like, in training camp together, and we was all in, what was that?
And it was in Rio?
Still, it was with the Brazilian team, and y'all and us, and we did, like, a camp prior to. I definitely fight him.
I can remember sparring Antonio Vargas, is it?
Yeah.
He gave me some beating.
Yeah.
As well, at Olympic Games, you know, Floyd Mayweather was at all your fights. And it was rumored he was there for you specifically to sign you. So did you feel under any pressure to look good while he was watching you?
Honestly, I ain't really feel too much pressure from him specifically, but I felt like a lot of pressure, like, but I don't even think that even like played any effect on my performance. I think like the pressure kind of hyped me up and make me perform a lot more than what I usually do. But I just feel like I said, I don't know. When we're talking like the Olympics, I just feel like you got 40% of
Yeah.
Like there was 40% of Shakur Stevenson out there. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm built with, and how like what I got going on. And I just felt like I was 40%. I ain't feel 100. So
Yeah. Like, how different do you feel the pro game is to the amateurs? Like, do you feel the WSB is in any way similar?
it's kind of similar, but I think like with the WSB, I think you weigh in. Oh, you do weigh in like the day before.
Yeah.
It's pretty similar. It's just
Get the
the glove.
gloves. Yeah.
The glove is kind of like it's like you boxing like with your fist. It's like you still got to watch out for big punches and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I think the pro game is like a whole different game. Like it's
Yeah.
like something totally different. Like you'll be fighting amateur and getting used to certain stuff, and then you go pro and it's like, damn. It's like it's way more realistic. Like
Yeah.
all the
Like,
punches, like fucking, you might get hit and just be like, damn. Like I don't want to get as in, you get hit in the amateurs. It's like, come on, fuck it, let's get through it. So
like after the Olympic Games, so you were the silver medalist. How many offers did you go? Was there a lot of promoters looking to sign you?
yeah, for sure.
And you picked top rank. Was there any particular reason why you picked top rank?
I mean, I just knew like, okay, like my options was basically Floyd, Rock Nation, Top Rank, Eddie Hearn. And I don't know, for some reason, well, at least when I was talking to Al Heyman and them, they said that they didn't reach out because they thought Floyd Mayweather had me.
Yeah.
So I knew like no disrespect to Floyd, I just knew like business wise we wasn't gonna be able to
Yeah.
work together. But like he wasn't all the way established how like a Top Rank is, and then you got Rock Nation who like they offered me more money to like go with them, like,
Yeah.
but I went with Top Rank because I knew that Top Rank had television, Top Rank had all the right stuff to build a
Fair.
young fighter that's on the rise. So even like Rock Nation, they offered me like more money, but it still wasn't like they ain't have TV, they ain't have the system, they ain't have all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And Eddie Hearn at that time, he ain't have like the zone. Like it wasn't no the zone. So
Yeah. It's
I
true.
don't have the money that he have now. So I just feel like at that time, he offered me way too low. Like the money was way too low.
Like, you yourself, you seem to be getting better every fight that you have. You're world champion in just your 13th fight. Um, who would you say would have been your toughest test so far?
I don't think I had any like super tough tasks. I think that my two toughest fights was Chris Diaz and Joet Gonzalez, but I think that it was really more mentally
Yeah.
toughness than it had to be mental tough. And even like with the Chris Diaz fight, they was telling me like it's too soon. We don't think Shakur is ready for this fight. But I had to mentally block everyone out and understand
Yeah.
that I'm that good, so I don't. It's not too soon for me. So
Yeah.
mentally tough. Honestly, I think that was the main thing.
Like, you're a massive, like, you're the current featherweight champion, but you've since made it to super featherweight. Making featherweight, was it very, very tough to make that weight?
Yeah, it got tough after like a certain amount of time. It got real tough to make the weight.
Yeah. Like, and how long a break would you usually have between fights?
I honestly see that's the thing with me. I don't have like too much break time. Like
Yeah.
after I fight is like I probably take a week off, and it's like me forcing myself to take a week off. Like I'm itching to go to the gym. I don't do nothing. I'll be bored. So it's like
Yeah.
I get to itching to go to the gym, and I try to stop myself. Like, nah, we gonna stay away from the gym. But it's kind of hard. I don't really be having time off. Like I really just go straight back to the gym and go do stuff. Like I remember after my world title fight, I came back from Vegas probably like a week later. I was in the gym sparring probably like 12 rounds with I don't know if you know Richardson Hitchens and
Yeah,
Keyshawn. Me and
yeah,
Keyshawn
yeah.
Richardson.
Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah, we all in the gym together and sparring. Like I sparred like 12 rounds straight with them. Like
Jesus Christ.
yeah,
Like I can remember. I didn't see the footage. I don't think there is any footage, but Lomachenko brought you in for
yeah,
sparring for the Rigondo fight.
yeah.
How did that go? Like
What you mean?
not how it
Oh,
went, but like how did you find sparring him?
see, like with that sparring, so I'm gonna tell you like from the beginning. The fight before that, I forget who he fought, but I called Top Rank and I'm telling them, I'm like, can I go spar Lomachenko? And they had got back to me. They like, he not fighting in Southpaw,
Oh, okay.
so
Yeah.
we ain't gonna let you spar him. He don't want to bring you to camp. I'm like, okay. So then I found out he was fighting Rigondeaux. I'm like, okay. Now he's fighting in Southpaw. I call him. They like, are you sure? Like you want to go down there and spar Lomachenko? Lomachenko like he be killing his sparring partners. And I look and I'm like, I mean, I tell him, I'm like, what the? I don't care like what he doing to his sparring partner. I just want the experience. That's Lomachenko. I'm a young kid, so that's like, feel me? I'm fiending for the experience. So then they tell me they're like, okay, you can go down there. He said, yeah, but you no pay. Like they're not gonna pay you. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like I didn't want to get paid anyway. I just wanted the experience. It's
Yeah,
Lomachenko.
experience.
So we get down there. I ain't gonna tell too much details on sparring, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that I do. He sparred with somebody else first, and then they tell me like I'm going in next. I'm like, okay, that's cool. We end up doing 4 rounds. Um, the next day, I came for the sparring day. He made me do 12 rounds straight. Like he had like sparring partners there. They put their stuff on. I'm like, okay, like so we all sparring today. But I figured like he realized how good I was, so he gonna
Yeah.
make me go first now. Like I'm gonna go first. He put me in first, and it just ended up like the sparring just going 12 rounds straight, nonstop. And I'm like, man, like
But
this
you know
dude
what?
is crazy.
You know what? I think that's a compliment because obviously he knew how good you were
Yeah.
as well. Like Felix Lomachenko, is that a fight that you would love one day?
Yeah,
Maybe.
actually, once he finished fighting Tiafimo, I think that and I get a belt at 130. I think that it wouldn't. I think we should fight. Like I know that like I said, we sparred. When I sparred him, that was probably what like 2018, 2017.
Yeah. Yeah, and you
I
know,
just whole different fighter now. Like I'm a whole lot better, bigger, stronger, and I just feel like it'll be a whole. You feel me? Like, and not saying that like anything happened in the sparring, but like I said, we sparred 12 rounds. That wasn't the only
yeah.
day me did 12 rounds straight. Like we
Like,
sparred for like a week straight, and I ended up doing 12 rounds with him several times, and they end up paying me at the end of the week because they knew like,
brilliant. Brilliant.
yeah, they knew that good sparring. So
See, like you sparred him and you sparred another good fighter who I'm a big fan of as well. He was at the Beijing Olympics with me. Didn't fight. He missed the weight. Gary Russell Jr.
yeah.
How good as a fighter do you think he is? Because I know you've sparred him before as well.
I think he underrated. I think that
Yeah.
he's a fighter that's underrated. I think that he's really good. Like a lot of people don't realize how good he is. I think that it's because he don't fight enough, so
Yeah, that's why.
people like forget about him. But I think that Gary Russell is a real good fighter. I think they take a lot of credit away from him because he lost to Lomachenko, but they don't understand how good Lomachenko is too.
Yeah.
So I think that Gary Russell is a good fighter. I end up, and that's another person like I had ended up sparring, and we ended up doing 8 rounds straight. And I just think it was fireworks at the time. Like we had real good sparring. Like I don't think like he got off on me. I don't think that I got off on him. I think that it was like real
Yeah.
good work. But
Yeah.
but like speaking of that, I was like 19 at the time. Like that was before the Olympics. So,
Yeah.
but
But
he's a
Yeah, he's a great fighter and someone who is very, very exciting to watch. That's just why I want to know what kind of fighter you thought he was too.
Nah,
Uh,
I think great fighter.
yeah, like how do you see? Or sorry, who in your opinion is the best out of Devonte Davis, David Haney, or and Defino Lopez?
It's hard to say. Like it's really hard to
Different
say.
qualities.
I mean, oh my God. See, I got a like relationship like with all of those fighters, so I'm not like I don't
Yeah,
want to.
like I don't want you to bomb it. I want you to say like each got their own qualities, but
Yeah, they do. They do got their own qualities, but I think that honestly, like skill wise, I would say probably Devin, but we still got to see Devin actually get into a fight yet.
yeah,
If we being realistic, like Devin ain't have no hard opponents in front of him to
yeah,
like know how good he is. So we don't know like his talent
yeah,
or what he But if we saying like resume and just based off of like who they done for it, and I would say Tiafimo. Like Tiafimo with that Richard Coleman fight, he stepped up to the plate. Javante, he fought Pedraza, but ever since Pedraza, it's like he haven't fought any other
yeah,
competition. So I don't know. That's another one we don't know like how good
yeah,
Tank is like because it's like Tank ain't really fighting nobody
yeah.
that like coming back at him. So
Like, what do you think about? I I have my own opinion on this. I think Luke Campbell destroys him. But what do you think about Luke Campbell and Garcia?
I think Luke Campbell gonna win too. I
Easy.
say I said the same thing. I think that he gonna beat him so easy. I think that everybody keeps making it seem like Ryan is gonna beat him, but I don't.
No chance.
I'm. I think that Luke Campbell is just kind of he knows his distance. He know how to box good. He got that Olympic pedigree. He got an Olympic gold medal. I just feel like I don't know. I think that he's gonna outbox
Yeah,
Ryan.
me too. Um, a fighter who you've already mentioned there, he asked me, did I know him? He's actually one of my favorite amateur fighters at the minute, Keyshawn Davis. How
Yeah,
far do you think he'll go?
I think that he got one stepping stone. I think that the only person that could beat Keyshawn, give Keyshawn any type of trouble, the only person who could beat Keyshawn is Keyshawn.
Yeah.
But the only person that give him trouble and style wise is kind of like you got to get over him is the kid Andy Cruz. So
Cuban?
yeah, I think uh, if he get past Andy Cruz, I think it's gonna be a walk in the park.
Yeah. Because
But he got to get Andy Cruz.
like just I just love watching him on YouTube or sorry on Instagram. He's such a talent. He's great to
Yeah.
watch. Uh
Yep.
unreal. But
Yeah.
what would you say would be the highest moment of your sports career?
Highest moment. I don't know. It's kind of hard because it's like I went to the Olympics and I don't know. That moment didn't feel how I wanted it to feel. So it
Yeah.
kind of had me down more than like having me up. But it might be winning the world title. But that moment kind of felt like regular to me. Like it kind of felt like something that I was through. Like that was supposed to happen. It ain't feel like nothing different. Like so,
Yeah. Uh
I don't. I know it's kind of hard. I think I'm still waiting for the like a real hot moment.
yeah. What would you say would be maybe the lowest moment?
Olympics for
Olympics.
sure.
Because
Olympics.
after the final, you were quite emotional.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of like I was angry. I was so angry. I kind of like after the finals, we had to go take like the testing,
Yeah.
and I was in the room like with the Cuban and everybody was in there. The people that won their gold medal, the people that lost. I was just in there so fucking mad. Like I was in there ready to nobody. Then I left out, and just the whole day was just like felt like a nightmare. So I think that was probably my
Yeah.
low. Sure.
Like you're obviously very young when you broke on the senior team. Uh, did you find it tough having to leave home to train in Colorado with the team?
You said that I think it was tough to do that?
So leaving your family to go and train in Colorado with the rest of the team?
Technically, it wasn't too tough because it's like I've been doing that since I was like 15. Like I was like out of everybody that was there, I was the only kid from like 15 years old leaving to Colorado every like camp to do training camp down there. So I was kind of used to it. I just felt like the training wasn't that good. I don't know. It just felt all off. Like, dude, I just think that whole camp just wasn't a good camp. Like, it was a horrible camp.
And obviously, with you being one of the youngest members on the team, was there anyone on that kind of team who you looked up to?
Nah, because I felt like I knew I was the best one.
Yeah.
Like, I guess you could say like Clarissa. I feel like with Clarissa, it was like she was the person that been to the Olympics before, and I kind of would look at her for like advice and go talk to her.
Yeah.
Stuff, but it wasn't like I didn't look up to too many of them because it was like I just always felt like I was like that good. I always knew like I was that good. So,
like, how did you feel fighting behind closed doors?
It was different. It was actually, it felt like sparring. Like it felt like you in the ring sparring. It don't feel like a fight. It just feel like you sparring.
It's crazy. Is there any word on your next fight, or is it on the wraps?
What I'm hearing, I might be having another world title shot at 130, my next fight.
Brilliant.
Actual world.
Say again, sorry.
A real world title, not none of them. You know.
Interim.
Yeah, none of that. World.
Which super featherweight champ have your sights set on? I know you just said there you're fighting for a world title 130 next, but is there any champions who you're actually looking towards specifically, or any of them?
I mean, I'm waiting to see who win the Devonte and Leo Santa Cruz fight, and I think Burchell. I think that me and Burchell is gonna have like a big unification fight.
I've seen that actually. Yeah, I've seen that. I read that on Twitter. There's a bit of beef between you and Burchell.
I won't call it beef because I think he's a good fighter. I just think that that Top Rank and ESPN and all these guys is gonna hype up a fight and make it happen. And I just feel like they're gonna hype it up, and then it's gonna probably be a fight that's like one-sided.
Yeah. How do you think the Carl Frampton and Jamil Herring fight will go?
I mean, that's if the fight happened, because I just read something that Jamil Herring might have to fight his mandatory.
Okay.
Yeah, which is his number one is me. So they said something like Jamil Herring got to defend his title with his mandatory by January. So
by January?
Yeah, by January. So we waiting to see what's gonna happen. We gotta wait and find out what's gonna happen. I don't know if they're gonna fight, but if they do fight, I think that's gonna be a pretty much even fight. I think that that Frampton is good. I think Frampton's a good fighter, but I think his size might not like he's real small, so I don't think that it's gonna be kind of hard for him to go with Jamel because Jamel is a big 130.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually a big fan of Jamil Herring too because I love his story about his personal life, which is really fascinating. But you just said yourself there, potentially it could be you in Frampton. What way does that go?
It could be either me or Frampton fighting Jamel, or if depending on what Jamel decides to do.
Yeah.
And, if he say no, like to me and him fighting, which probably that'd be a good idea because it's like me and him come from the same type of team. We do our training camps together, so if he say no, it could probably be me and Frampton fighting for his title. So we'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think Frampton too small. Like I like Frampton. I think that he's a good boxer. I got nothing but respect for him because of his accolades and what he done in boxing so far. But I just feel like I'm too big for him. Like I seen him before. He's kind of like little. So
yeah. Well, he's my size. I'm tall.
yeah, you don't fight 130. You fought like 118.
No, I fought 112.
Oh, 112. See,
Yeah.
you fight 12. He fights 130.
I know. So tell me this: how many weights are we going to see you be world champion in?
I was world champion at 126. I'm about to be world champ at 130. I'm gonna be world champ at 35, 40, and 47. I think.
I like it.
Limit.
Yeah, I like it. I'm going to do a quick fire round question at the end, okay?
Okay.
If you could choose a different sport, what would it be?
Basketball.
Basketball. Any
Yeah.
good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Who would you say would be your greatest rival?
Greatest rival, Ryan Garcia.
Oh, good one. Fight I would love to see. Have you got any pre-fight superstitions?
I gotta eat kiwi.
Kiwi?
Kiwi. I had fought in like my continentals, the qualifier for the Olympics, and I ate kiwi that day, and I knocked the kid out. Like he went to sleep. And then I gotta eat kiwi before I fight.
Do you have a favorite quote or a favorite saying?
Nah, I don't got no favorite quote, favorite saying.
Okay. So I think I know the answer to this one. Your favorite sports person, past or present?
Sports person?
Yeah.
I like honestly, I think I like probably Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith, or that's his name. I like him because of like he's just so hyper. Like he come in and just be so hyper, and he give me like a good laugh. So
Yeah.
I think him.
Brilliant. Well, this is brilliant to have you on. I wish you all the best next fight, and take it easy, mate. Thanks for calling PaddyCast, legend.